Sebastian here for Comic Impact, bringing you The Impact for this week, Friday, May 1st, 2015. Let's get started. First up, I want to say happy Free Comic Book Day to everybody out there. And of course you may be saying, what's Free Comic Book Day? Well, Free Comic Book Day is the day that all the comic book shops and all the major publishers get together to have basically comic book Christmas as far as I'm concerned. Everyone's got free comic books to give out. They've got special events at stores, signings, games. It's a great day. Go check it out. I'll be at my local comic store getting my free comic on, and hopefully you will be too. Next up, the heaviest story of the week comes from Gerry Conway. He posted on his Tumblr page, and we will leave a link down below, to a very, very interesting story about DC's new creator equity program. And of course, who's Gerry Conway, you may be asking? Well, I'll tell you who Gerry Conway is. He's one of the more prolific co-creators of comic characters in history. He co-created characters like Firestorm and Power Girl and Killer Frost and Killer Croc and the Punisher. Yes, Marvel's Punisher. He has been everywhere and done everything, and he's created so many characters for DC Comics. He created Jason Todd, or at least is one of his co-creators. This is not a guy who lollygags around. He's a very, very good creator and a very good guy, and I'm actually shocked to hear this story, but part of me isn't when you think about what happened to guys like Alan Moore and, of course, the Siegel and Schuster families. So, DC has a program called the Creator Equity Program, which basically compensates creators for work when it appears in other popular media. For example, the one he gave in particular is that character like Killer Croc appeared in Batman the Animated Series created by Bruce Timm, and he would get some compensation for those characters' appearances. And of course, gave praise to DC, especially in the time when Paul Levitz was the head of DC Comics, because Paul would actually go out and personally inform creators that their characters would be appearing in other works, citing that Paul Levitz was a creator himself at one point and fully understood and would not want to miss out on any sort of compensation for the hard work that they've done for the company. Of course, Paul Levitz eventually stepped down, and DC Entertainment was formed from the ashes of DC Comics, and Diane Nelson took over, and then sent him a letter. And the letter plainly stated that Gerry Conway would no longer receive any sort of compensation for a character like Power Girl, because she's considered a derivative character, because she is, I suppose, partially based on Superman, and would no longer receive any sort of compensation, and was cut a check for $1,000, and that was that. That was the end of communication. Of course, Gerry wanted an explanation. What was this new version of the Creator Equity Program? Well, he basically laid it out thusly, that the new program, if he wanted any sort of compensation for the characters he created, he would have to do so in writing, in advance of any sort of character appearance in popular media, and that they do not pay retroactively. And not only do they not pay retroactively, they can deny your claim if they feel your character is derivative. For example, Gerry Conway says, Gerry and Al Mingram created a character named Crystal Frost, aka the Killer Frost, the original version of Killer Frost. Decades down the line, guys like Sterling Gates create Caitlin Snow, who is the second Killer Frost in comics, or at least the New 52 version of Killer Frost. So, what happens when a character like that appears in popular media? Do Gerry and Al Mingram get credit for this creation? Well, DC says, yes, Gerry, you did create Killer Frost, but unfortunately you did not create Caitlin Snow. Gerry then responds, fair enough, but surely Mr. Gates is getting any sort of compensation for her. No, says DC Comics, because she is a derivative character. Gerry asks once more, so then we are her creators, no? No, DC says with the most straight poker face imaginable, no one is her creator. A very sad state of affairs indeed, and frankly, very depressing one. That's wholly unfair, and I can see why this has become a big hullabaloo in the comics industry at the moment, because that's some pretty shady shit, if you ask me. To cleanse the palate of that pretty sad story, let's look at some photos. We got a lot of set photos and some leaks for you from the world of Hollywood, film and television leaks. We got some pretty cool stuff. We've got Stephen Amell as Casey Jones in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 movie. With all the crazy character designs from the first one, this one actually makes me very happy. I like the mask. It's got a very comic book look to it, very exaggerated in the features and the angle, and I like Stephen Amell. He seems like a good guy. Next up, we've got Jared Leto playing the Joker, being all postmodern and ironic with a deranged tattoo on his forehead. Of course, tattoos on the Joker isn't necessarily a new thing. Frank Miller's All-Star Batman and Robin had the Joker with a big dragon tattoo on his back. And of course, the look itself looks a little bit like it's inspired by the Grant Morrison version of the Joker, the very thin, wearing the suspenders, shirtless, very slicked back hair. So we'll see what they do with him. Jared Leto's a good actor, so I can't complain too much. Next up, we've got actually a very clear look at Batfleck's Batsuit. This comes from a poster site. This is an unretouched version of the suit. It simply has the watermark on it. I actually really like the look of the suit. It looks very, very good, very much Dark Knight inspired. The texture on the suit looks a little overdone, but of course, if we've learned anything from Man of Steel, this movie will basically be in sepia, so a lot of those finer details won't matter. Although the one interesting thing is, that I noticed anyways, it looks like the cowl is one piece, which can only mean we may be going back to full upper body turns for Batman. And last but not least, we've got a photo of Deadshot. Of course, this is Will Smith playing Deadshot, and the costume seems very, very familiar to me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. Hopefully you like these little news segments. Unfortunately, I can't do them every day, especially since the news comes every day with the information superhighway in everybody's pocket. So, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. And enjoy Free Comic Book Day, everybody. Get your free books. There's a lot of good stuff. We got Convergence stuff. We've got Secret Wars stuff. It's crazy out there. Go get your free books.